welcome. This is Ruth, and today I've got the latest little create and make die set from Tonic Studios, and this one is called a hat box, and it's got 23 dies in it. And these little create and make die sets are always very reasonably priced. You may have to do a little bit of extra cutting, but they're quite small, but they do make a big impact, and they make a really lovely gift box or whatever they're intended to do. It's just to keep the price point low, but you can certainly use lots of these dies for other things as well. So if you haven't seen any of the others and you want to check back on those, do check out my little create and make playlist. I'd love you to have a look at that. If you haven't already subscribed, loads and loads of you are watching but haven't subscribed, and it doesn't cost anything. It's free to do. It really helps my channel along, and I'd really love it if you would do that. You'll see loads of things, all sorts of things, because I just love crafting. Anyhow, if you haven't subscribed, please do that and hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss any of the videos as they come up. And it would really help as well if you give my video a little thumbs up and leave me a little comment. I really appreciate that. My affiliate links to everything that I use will be down below in the description of the video. So thanks very much to everybody who uses that, because that gives me a little bit of commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra at all. Right, now back to this die set. So 23 dies, as I said, and we've got 2 circles here, and you can see already that the cutting line on one of them is right on the inside of the die, and it's right on the outside of that. So those are very close. Obviously one is to make the outside and one is to make the lid. So they're very close, but that could make a lovely little narrow circle frame for a card. You could certainly use that for that option as well. A card, or even just a circle, a biggish photograph on a scrapbook. So there's loads and loads of ways that you could use that. Then we've got these little pieces as well to go around the hat box. I'll show you in a moment or two. I'll be making one, but just thinking outside the hat box, so to speak, this would make a beautiful little border. That looks really pretty. A lovely little border, or just a lovely little statement on a card. This would make a lovely little thing to go around on a little small gatefold, or would indeed, if you just cut it in two, it would make 2 lovely little banners or tags. And here's another one here as well, and then all of these little pieces that match in here, and some little hexagons as well. Then we've got beautiful little sentiments here. So these are debossing, and they always look much better if they're used on pearlescent or mirror card or something like that, because it just makes this stand out more. So we've got with love, celebrate, thanks, and for you. Then we've got this beautiful little panel here. So you've got a rectangle that you could use for a tag or just a layer, and then we've got this beautiful little pattern here which you can use on its own. It's got no outside cutting edges on it, so if you use it on its own, it cuts that pattern into the card, and if you use it with this one, then it cuts that out, because this is the outside edge. So you could cut a plain piece and layer this on top of it. Then this panel could also be used as a little pocket, but I'm going to pick out some nice card to go along with this now, and then make up a little hat box for you. But do bear all those other things in mind as well. I've used 300 GSM ivory smooth card because it's a really sturdy card, and then you can decorate the top of it with whatever you like. So I've also picked some of the Shabby Meadow 8x8 paper pad, because I just thought that was really beautiful. And now I've got 2 of the larger circles and 2 of the slightly smaller circles here. I'm going to set the larger ones aside, and the smaller ones then are the ones that I'm going to use for the base of my little box. So I've also cut 4 sides with this little die here, and I have cut 4 panels of the paper from the paper pad with this one, and you can see I've gone ahead and already attached 3 of them on there. So I'm going to show you what to do with the 4th one here. So I've got that cut, and I've got my panel cut here as well, and I need to shape this slightly, and I need to put this on top, but I think it says in the instructions there to do it with a bone folder, but it's really better to do it with something round, because if you add a straight edge onto that, you're more than likely to get a little fold line on it. But if you use something like this, you'll be able to make it a little bit more smooth. You'll see there that actually still, it leaves a couple of little marks just on the outside of it there. The inside's fine. 300 GSM card is quite sturdy, so that's what happens. but we'll be able to cover it up with this. I do think it just gives a stronger box than making it with the 216. I am just going to curl this a little bit as well, and then whenever you glue that on top, it means you're not sort of trying to curve the two of them at the one time, because otherwise you get a little gap in between one and the other. The glue sort of comes adrift whenever you kind of attach it and try to curve it at the same time. So we'll just pop that on right there and just get it in the right place. You can see the little guidelines there, the little debossed lines, and slide that into place. Then when you've got it like that, it's easier at that stage then to go ahead and just push back all these little glue tabs. You don't need to do anything with this one because that's just a little guideline where you're going to glue the others onto. So just make sure you have those all as neat as you can get them, and then you can come in with your bone folder if you can find it. Oh dear. So I have all of these glued together and ready to go, and now I can just use this little line as a guideline for where the glue is supposed to go and attach the four of them together. So glue down there and then put this in here. Actually, just remember whenever you're putting your paper on, if there is a pattern on it that needs to be facing one way or the other, this is the base of the little box, so make sure your pattern's facing the right way as well. I should have said that earlier because you might already, if you're following along with this, you might have already got that glued in. There we are. Now I think in the instructions it tells you now to go ahead and do this, so I might actually do that, glue this on here. Normally I don't. I would have the whole thing together and then I would actually pop this down into the center. So let's just see how this goes. Oh, do you know, I'm just going to do it the way I usually do it because well, I don't know, it just goes against the grain to do it anyway differently. So here we are. I'm just going to glue this on here. I'll have this ring, and then you can go ahead, once you've got those completed into a circle like that, make sure all of those little glue tabs are facing into the center, and at this point then you can either add glue onto the glue tabs like that, just pop it down in this way, or if you find that too fiddly, just put glue on here. So if this is going down in this way, all you need to do is put glue around the outside edge and it'll grab. And don't worry if any of it goes through there, because you're going to add another piece onto the base of it after that. So right out round the edges and pop this down in. When you've got that bottom one in, then you can go ahead with the other one the same size, so that's the other smaller circle, and put it over here, and that covers all those glue tabs up and strengthens the base of this. But you can go ahead as well and add another one of the same size into the center, maybe in patterned paper or mirror card or something like that, and that would be beautiful as well and make that even stronger. 300 GSMs already makes it quite strong. So anyhow, let's just pop a little bit of glue into the center there and there. Now one thing I would suggest is just make sure that you haven't left these here quite loose. Make sure that you have them tightly glued together, because that will make the bottom of it just a little bit too loose whenever you go to fit it in. Just keep them really tight together. And there we are. I've cut out one of the smaller circles then in the paper, the matching paper, because I just thought that would look really, really beautiful. I was going to put, let's see just the name of this, I always get this mixed up. Yeah, Petal Pink Iridescent Mirror Card. It's absolutely gorgeous with this, and I thought it would look nice on the inside, but every time you would look inside it, you just see yourself looking back because it's so, so shiny. But isn't that really, really pretty there? Now, I'm going to make the lid, so I've got the two bigger pieces as well here, two bigger circles, and I have cut out a smaller circle as well in the patterned paper, and I'm going to put that directly on top of one of these, and this is going to be the top part of the lid. Now I know at the top of this actually gets decorated with a huge big bow as well, but the bow is going to go on top of that too. So that's that piece, and then I'm going to need 4 of these. So I've cut 4 out with this little die, and then you get a little die that cuts out this one. It actually cuts out little holes in it, and you can see here, and I just bring this up and you can see it better. Just a little tip, if all those little pieces are still attached in there when you've got it finished, just run a little pokey tool or something down like that. Look, they all just pop out really quickly. And that saves you poking every one of those little holes individually. You can just do that, and out they come. So there we are. Now I'm going to glue that directly onto my 4th little one of these. I've already got some of them ready. I've actually gone ahead and have quite a few bits and pieces ready, but I'm going to make the 4 of these up just in exactly the same way as I did with this. I'm going to use the 4 sides on here as well. Now you're going to need 4 of these die cuts, and if you want to decorate them, you can take the little die cut that has this part on it to add on to the top. Now I'm actually just going to show you how to sort of make those little dots stand out more on that. If you just leave the die in here, this is a different one, it's for the lid, but it's just the same thing, just the same way to do this anyway. Leave it in the die and then just hold it down and run your embossing tool or your stylus right down the center, and you can hear it bump along those little ridges. And then whenever you take this out, there you are, you can see those little pieces more easily defined, and that will give you a better little pattern on it. So you want 4 of these, and you're going to glue those around the edges here, and they cover these little side panels just where those side panels are attached there. So you can add some glue in here, right down here and across here, and then just center that right across that panel there and tuck that fold down in there. I actually always like to just have a little double check to make sure I've got it in the center, and there you are. So you can just hold that in place until that attaches, and then you'll have 4 of those to put on, and then you can start and do the lid as well. I've put the lid down on over the top of that, and it's a really good snug fit now. So you need 4 of these next, and I've cut those out in the ivory as well. And then I've decorated them with this little die that has a little point on it, and you just make those little bumps sort of stand out more by running the embossing tool down there too. And then this little one as well, and you can see here that I have glued them on just like that. So we'll fold this little tab back and this one, and then all of these can go right on the top of that. So again, here and here. So what we're aiming to do this time is, it's actually much easier if you just sort of hold it on here, and you can see there where it's going to go. Glue all of them right in to match each other and to meet in the center like that. There and there and there, and then at these edges you can glue this on and tuck that little bit up inside there. Now to make the big bow to go on top of it, I've cut these dies out once each, and I've got the larger one here. So it says in the instructions you have to cut this out 12 times. Well, I've cut it out 6 times to start, and I'm not sure that I will actually cut it out 12 altogether. So as see, I've then cut this out 6 times as well, and again I've kept this in here and reinforced all those dots by going down the center of it. And now I'm going to glue this directly on top of this, and then I'll show you how to attach it to that center part. So just like that, and right down in there. Now, while that glue is sort of still in the process of grabbing and it hasn't attached properly, just fold that over, and then you'll know that it's, oops, you'll be able to hold it in place until it actually attaches properly. Then I'm going to bend these pieces back here, so you can see there's 2 fold lines in that one. I'm going back at this one, and I'm going to put glue on there and there and attach both of those together, just like that. Now you'll need 6 of those all together. I've already got 3 on here, and I've got my others almost ready to roll. So there we are. And all you need to do now is put glue on that triangle part and glue it onto one edge here of this hexagon. So that's the larger one, and you'll see if you turn it over that the edge of this is directly up against one of the lines of the hexagon, and you just follow that right round until you have the 6 of them all in place. Now I can take this piece and just glue that right down in there, and just hold it and make sure you have it all centered. So instead of cutting another 6 of those, I've actually cut out 6 strips of the card, the paper that matches this, and you can see there on the bigger ones here, these ivory ones, I folded at that score line there, but in these ones I'm actually going to fold back at the one that's closest to the outside edge on both of them. So the paper doesn't really need curled back, it does that itself. And when you get that like this, you can just put some glue on there and fold those 2 bits over so that they hold together, and then that little bit will get glue on behind it, and that then can go on top of the smaller hexagon here, and you'll just work your way around. But the small edge of that then is going to go there, and you can see on the back of it just how that fits. Then when I get the 6 of those on, I can pop this one down into the center here. That's going to look really, really lovely. I've got another little piece ready to go on top, and I've cut that out from the gorgeous iridescent mirror card as well. But I'm just going to go and add the rest of these on here and build this up and get it ready to attach to the top. That would look nice on its own, so that even with a little hexagon inside it, anything you like, but I'm just going to layer it up just to show you what it looks like, and then you can decide what you like yourself. So glue on there, and then just pop that down in the center and hold it, and then once that attaches, you can sort of move these around a little bit, but just hold it down in the center until it all grabs, until that glue grabs. I've cut out the With Love debossing sentiment and added it onto the little white, little ivory scalloped oval, and I've sort of looked around here and I wasn't too sure where I would put it to make it look just right, but I think I've hit on it. I'm going to give it just a slight little curve, and then we'll put it on one of the side panels here. Just make sure it's the right way up and then pop it on there, and I think that kind of frames it and makes it look nice. So just make sure it's straight and in the center and the right way up, of course, and there you are. That's really, really pretty. I decided not to try and move these out because it's actually really, really nice with them coming up into the center like that. And I was actually only asked to make one sample this time, but I thought I would make a tiny little card to go along with that. So I've cut out this panel, and the main purpose of that was just to let you see how beautiful that little panel looks. So I've cut it out in the iridescent mirror card. I've backed it onto some ivory, and I've cut out the little celebrate. That's actually just done in the same way as I've used here for the with love, and then I've made a little card to go along with it, and I think that makes a pretty little set as well there. So I hope you like that, but don't forget you can actually use the big circle dies. You can use whatever you like to make a big 6x6 card or even bigger, and add lots of these dies as banners and borders and all sorts of things as well. But that's what I'm doing for now, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you have enjoyed that, and leave me a little comment and let me know what you think about it as well. And my affiliate links for this set will be down below in the description box, as well as the links for the papers and anything else that I've used. And all's left to say is, if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to do that and hit the notification bell. And happy crafting until next time. Enjoy. Bye bye.